Yo, still Bills, what's the deal, man, nigga? I'm back like cook crack, heading to the cribbage right now, man, to kick my feet up and chill before I hit the gym. But peep game, we gotta get into this shit, man. And that is, man, AJ and Dubois is officially underway. I haven't got a glimpse at the undercard or nothing like that. I didn't even see the press conference last night because I was in the gym while the press conference was going on. So I'm gonna go and get hip to that when I get to the cribbage or whatever, man. But I was on these forums, like I always say to y'all, man. As long as you are, if you're on a social media platform, in particular Twitter or Facebook, you always gonna have something to make content about, man. Because it's always different narratives being thrown around in them spaces, man. So I came up on a topic in regards to Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua, man. And the dude was trying to tell me that at first it started with this sparring. Daniel Dubois dropped him in sparring and all this and all of that. And man, listen, like I tell everybody else, and I've told y'all before, the 3 or 4 people who fuck with me, sparring is a lot more nuanced than the fight on fight night, man. When you talk about sparring, you're talking about your coach may your coach may hinder you from doing certain things, your strong suits in a sparring session and tell you to solely work on this and work on that. You dig, to strengthen your skills, to sharpen your other tools. He may, you're gonna go through 2 or 3 different opponents or partners in a session. You're gonna have longer rounds, and meaning you may go 4-minute rounds. You dig? You may go 4-minute rounds, and it may be only 30-second intermissions between each round. And y'all may not get water in between each round. You dig? So it's a lot more layered and nuanced than an actual fight, than the fight on fight night. Now, don't get it fucked up. Sparring is fighting. Sparring is fighting, man. When you in there and you're of equal caliber with another fighter, that's not y'all working on something. Of course, it's it's varied. You're gonna be working on shit, definitely, man. But you are also in there to defend yourself because homeboy is in there trying to off your head and help you become the better fighter. You become a better fighter. So it's definitely fighting. And a sparring session tells a story. It definitely does. But it doesn't tell the full story. It doesn't tell the full story. You dig? And that's what a lot of people keep getting fucked up, and they keep running with this narrative that because you had success in sparring, you're automatically going to have success on fight night, when you may have sparred this individual years ago. When you look at the dynamic of opponents that each fighter has fought, their common opponent is Usyk. Usyk beat both of them, but he stopped Dubois. And outside of Usyk, let me see, Daniel Dubois, he's been in there with Philip Hergovich. He's been in there with Jarrell Miller. He's been in there with Joe Joyce. Anthony Joshua's been in there with Klitschko, Povetkin, Joseph Parker, Usyk. You got who am I missing? Otto Wallin. He's been in there with a higher grader of opponent than Daniel Dubois on average. You dig? So when they sparred years ago, Anthony Joshua has ascended a lot more past the level that he was when he was, in a position to spar somebody like a Daniel Dubois. If that makes sense. You dig? So that came up as, homeboy was telling me that Daniel Dubois has a mental edge over him because he dropped him in sparring. Whatever the fuck ever. Whatever the fuck ever with that. But I personally don't agree with it because I'm like, there's nothing that Daniel Dubois does better outside of speed. There's nothing that he does better than Anthony Joshua. It just isn't. You dig? And another opponent, I forgot, Andy Ruiz. He fought Andy Ruiz as well. He fought Andy Ruiz twice. He fought Alexander Usyk twice. He's just been in there with a better grade of opposition than Daniel Dubois has. But the thing that baffled me was he kept talking about the mental edge because of, Anthony Joshua isn't as confident. He's like, his confidence, and I forget how he put it. His confidence is rattled or whatever. Mainly after I would say the Andy Ruiz fight. A lot of people, that's been the narrative, since that fight. Yo, man, he ain't the same confident fighter. He ain't got that killer in him no more since he got knocked out by Andy Ruiz and yada, yada, yada. And I was like this. You can't highlight Anthony Joshua's You dig? What's the word? Apprehensive. Apprehension in the ring, or it's a key word that people keep using. Like he's gun shy. He's gun shy in the ring. He's mentally not there. I forget the word that he used. I'm like, you can't use that as a crutch to knock Anthony Joshua when just last year we were saying the same thing about Daniel Dubois. We were saying the exact same thing. After Usyk stopped him, everybody was saying the same thing about him. Not even Usyk. I'm tripping. Joe Joyce, when Joe Joyce stopped him. When Joe Joyce stopped him, everybody was saying, yo, his confidence is gone. He's not as confident as he was before this Joe Joyce fight. He's not as confident. Everybody was worried about where that man is at mentally. Like he had a mental lapse. He just, he's gun shy. He can't pull the trigger. He's second guessing himself. The same shit that Anthony Joshua went through not with Usyk, of course, but after Andy Ruiz. Pulev is another fight that Anthony Joshua had fought. But how do and when I said this to him, the conversation kind of ended after that because he's realized, yo, you're right. How can anybody sit here and tell me that Anthony Joshua, like Dubois, has a mental edge over Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua he's not as confident as he once was, or he has this mental edge or whatever the case may be, and not say the same thing about Daniel Dubois. My thing is this: both of these dudes have came back and had colossal wins. I don't think Francis Ngannou was a colossal win like that, but considering just how they was amping my dude when he went in there, he did what he did to Fury. He went the distance with Fury and dropped Fury and had Fury really looking vulnerable in there. They put that man on the pedestal. It was like, oh man, he should have won. And the fact that nigga got a controversial loss to Fury is telling. It's real telling. But before that, it was Wallin. Before that, it was Wallin, and Wallin was running that same, that same game. Yo, man, he's not confident. He's past it. He this and that and the third. And you really seen Anthony Joshua resurrect that demon, that Nine Tails Fox last year. You seen it last year at the in Riyadh season last year. You saw it last year. You saw it. He got all his enemies here. Deontay Wilder over there. Jarrell Miller right there. I got this dude in front of me, out of Wallin, really running his mouth, talking about how I'm past it and I ain't did this and I ain't did that. And he's like, yo, and you ain't did half of what I got to do, telling me I passed it and never made it to it. Like, what the fuck is going on? So you really seen his level of aggravation just really begin to spike at that particular in that particular fight right there. At that particular fight right there. Like, nah, man, we ain't doing this, bro. Like, y'all niggas got me fucked all the way up, man. Y'all got me fucked all the way up. I'm not digging this shit, man. Nah, bro. This shit is dead. You're not finna sit here and run your mouth. Okay, I got you. I'll see you on fight night. And as that's happening, you see Jarrell Miller really banging on really banging on Daniel Dubois, saying the same shit to him. Popping off the he ain't got it no more. He shook. Usyk took his heart. Joseph Parker took his heart. He ain't the same dude no more. I bet. So in that moment, you saw both of these dudes really start to regain their level of focus, regain their confidence to them and all that shit. And what happened? They both went on and put on spectacular performances. Both of them. And they rode that wave because in their next fights, they scored big knockouts. I still haven't watched the Hrgovic and Daniel Dubois fight. I haven't watched that fight. I need to go and watch that fight. I can't remember what I was doing when that fight was on, but I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it. I was not happy about that, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna watch that fight. But after that, Otto Wallin goes in there and gets obliterated by Anthony Joshua to the point where he was saying Joshua will lose to Fury. He second guessed all that shit in interviews. He's like, man, I don't know about that no more, man. I don't know about that no more. That's the type of animal ambition that got resurrected in both of them dudes, man. And then we have another common opponent. We got Dillian White. We got We got Usyk. We both, by that, it wasn't Usyk by that time, but we got Dillian White, we got Otto Wallin, and now we got Francis Ngannou. Of course, there's other opponents or whatever, but we just gonna stick to these, to those three right there. You lay an egg with Francis Ngannou. I literally have a nigga on my Facebook page, swearing up and down that Anthony Joshua, he's chinny and, he ain't got no heart and, his confidence is shot and, because Ngannou did what he did to Tyson Fury, he about to violate Joshua. Joshua went over there and crashed this nigga in 2 rounds. You dig? Francis Ngannou is a colossal sized human being, 270 pounds, solid muscle. It takes a different type of puncher to get that man to blink. And for him to drop him in the first round while he's fresh, the dude was fresh. Decided he wanted to switch to southpaw. Boom, down goes Francis. We go into the second round. Step back right hand, down goes Francis again. And just to show you how layered of a fighter that Anthony Joshua was, man, he's fainting the whole fight, and Francis is reacting to all of the feints because he's not used to dealing with a consummate professional in this arena right here. So his brain and IQ hasn't necessarily evolved, to deal with somebody who's, sophisticated with setting up a shot. So every shot I flash at you, you thinking is a shot that's actually coming to do damage. Like I'm throwing that shot with, to land. No, decoy. The fuck? Yo, that's wild. But yeah, decoy, jab to the body, smack you over the head, over the top with the right hand. Yo, what in the fuck am I hearing? I guess it's somebody outside, man. This shit is wild. But down goes Ngannou, man. That fight right there, and you saw the look in AJ's face, like, bro, like I'm really coming to outline you in chalk, bro. Like you don't get, it's respect, it's all love. But when we get in that ring, fam, we 2 gladiators in the Roman Coliseum, and I'm looking to kill something. I'm looking to catch a serious M. He went in here and he did that shit, and then you fast forward to Daniel Dubois and his fight with Filip Hrgovic, a few weeks back, and it was the same thing. Both of these dudes have went through trials and tribulations as a fighter, to where people, they second guess their confidence, they second guess their ambition, they second guess whether they still got it or not. Or y'all shot because y'all just don't look like y'all niggas don't look like y'all ready to, y'all don't look it. We're not convinced. And they both proved otherwise, man. So it's dope to see these two actually get in the ring and line it up, man. It's dope. And even with Usyk throwing the belt to them dudes, like, here, man, here's my gift to y'all. And I don't think that was meant to be facetious by him either. But he knows Anthony Joshua wants to become a 3-time champion, and Daniel Dubois has aspirations of becoming a champion. Here, I'm not gonna do that to y'all. Here, y'all can have that. This is my gift to y'all. And I've seen people say shit about that as well, man. Like, you gotta beat the man, you gotta beat the man, or some wild shit. I'm like, man, he has nothing else to prove. He's on the brink of retirement. Y'all take them belts, or take that belt. I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping at all. Push come to shove, I'll come and holler at y'all about it again if I want to go 3-time undisputed, 2-time heavyweight undisputed world champion. I don't see that happening though. I don't see that happening though. I think after this Tyson Fury rematch, if he wins, he's out of there. He's chucking the deuces. You dig? I got all my faculties intact. I've been in with the best of the best in every division that I've stepped foot in. I have nothing else to prove. Y'all had that. And now it's it's a much more, sensational fight because they both, it's a title on the line. It's a belt on the line. You dig? It's real estate in the division on the line. Hell yeah. Yes. Cool. That's the fuck we want. So now you're going to get both of these dudes who have both overcome trials and tribulations fighting for something that they both really, salivate to have, you know what I'm saying, in their possession, which is the title. It's going to be a good fight, man. It's going to be a great fight, you dig? But I don't want people getting so caught up in this sparring shit And I don't want people getting so caught up with the fact that Anthony Joshua was shot and he's gun shy and all that wild shit. Them days are past us. Them days are past us, man. After that, I mean, shit, look at Tyson Fury. You are going to look a certain type of way in front of Usyk. Usyk, unless you're a strong-minded individual, I think Anthony Joshua is strong-minded. But I just think with him, because nobody does the numbers that him and Canelo Alvarez do. And Joshua didn't, you're seeing him continue to ascend as a fighter the deeper he goes into his career, just like with every fighter. But people complain about, yo, man, just he was fresh out of the Olympics or whatever the case may be. He didn't have time to properly hone his skill in. You may have a point about that. I just think with him, you dig with that. And people call it excuse from me, but I've said it to y'all time and time again. That Andy Ruiz fight was not supposed to end like that, bro. It just wasn't. He was beating this. When you knock down a dude for the first time in his career, 2 to 3 rounds into the fight, that tells you the level that, the level between the two of them. That shows you the level between the two of them. It's levels. Anthony Joshua was far beyond Andy Ruiz's level. But Andy Ruiz is a quality operator in the ring. He saw an opportunity and he capitalized on it. Saw a mistake from Anthony Joshua stepping into, oh man, you're in my range and I got faster hands than you too. I can get to the target before you in this range right here. I can't close distance on you. I'm going to get to the target from right here. And that's what he did. And it paid dividends. It paid dividends. It is what it is. He got his get back though. It is what it is. But through all them, just that trial, people are ridiculous. But Usyk is doing that to everybody. He's having everybody feeling something. Look at how Tyson Fury is acting with Usyk. Usyk only won 3 rounds. According to Tyson Fury, he only won 3 rounds. This man inebriated outside the motherfucking clubs and shit over there, and in the UK, got to be carried out and all that shit, escorted out the club. Like, bro, what is we doing right now? What the fuck are we doing? When the rematch was already locked in, Usyk was taking notes from the first match on adjustments he needs to make on the mistakes that he made in that first fight. He is a consummate professional. It's levels, bro. Usyk is a different individual. That's the type of killer that man is. That's the type of consummate professional and just, Mamba mentality that he has. Yeah, I won the fight. I want to see because I want to knock you out in the rematch, and I want to make sure that you don't win a round. Usyk is doing that to everybody, Brody. Usyk is doing that to everybody. So at this point, we cannot sit here and continue to denigrate Anthony Joshua for what he went through after he suffered at the hands of Usyk as well. After that Usyk loss, got back, all right, cool. We fighting 3 times this year. Bring me Jermaine Franklin. Niggas was complaining about that. I remember Teddy Atlas having something to say about that. I didn't know the loser gets complimented after Anthony, even though Anthony Joshua and Jermaine Franklin were both coming off of losses. All right, whatever. We get Robert Helenius next. He still looks a little gun shy, but people want to disregard the fact that he was a late replacement. He spent an entire training camp training for Dillian White, and Dillian White popped dirty. All right, you can have that. You can have that. I'm washed, all right, whatever the fuck ever. We get out of Wallin, and he does a destruction derby on that man. Detonated that nigga. Now we back on to greener pastures. Dig? So Anthony Joshua has been getting the shit end of the stick for years, and I feel like now motherfuckers is really starting to put respect on his name. Same with Daniel Dubois. So with that right there, that's gonna make for a real compelling fight. It's gonna make for a real compelling fight. Stop playing with AJ. You dig? There's nothing you can say about AJ that you can't say about Daniel Dubois. If you're gonna clap at him, you gotta clap at Daniel Dubois. Because Daniel Dubois suffered the same type of situation. Went through the same bullshit. Keep the same energy, man. Keep the same energy. That's what I'm all about. Keep the same energy. And get out of this mindset that these fighters can't lose. Not just lose, but get knocked the fuck out. Get out of that mindset. Like everybody's just supposed to preserve their own, bro. Losses are gonna happen, and you're not a bum if you lose. I hate you niggas, man. I really can't. I despise you dudes. Cause I'll fuck the sport up for the rest of us. You dig? A loss is a loss. It is what it is. It is not the end of the world. It wasn't the end of the world for Anthony Joshua. Riyadh season is he's still shouldering that, that load. You dig? He was the first to headline a Saudi card when he rematched Andy Ruiz. They wasn't going into that fight for no fucking Andy Ruiz. You out of your mind? No. No. Andy Ruiz is not the draw that Anthony Joshua is. Stop playing with AJ, man. This is a good fight, but don't tell me nothing about it being a whatever fight because of the bullshit that Anthony Joshua was going through when Daniel Dubois was going through the same shit. That's the whole point of this video. I'm excited about the fight. I think it's a balling ass fight. It's a dope British rivalry, domestic level rivalry matchup. I think it's gonna be balling. You dig? I wouldn't mind the winner getting Zhang next. The winner should get Zhang. If it's Anthony Joshua, Zhang is deserving of that payday. Zhang is deserving of that payday. Give us Zhang, and then when we step on Zhang, we're gonna step on Tyson Fury. And then it's off to undisputed. You still got time, man. You got 2 years of good solid work left. You could fuck around and become undisputed next year. Fuck around, you could. When Usyk retires. Well, maybe the year after next. I say 2026, my 40th. You could become undisputed 2026. If you keep the same schedule you done had, that's a definite possibility. Riyadh season ain't one for the promotional boundaries, man. So I got faith in the bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking with the champ. So that's how I'm feeling about it, man. I can't wait for this fight to go down. I'm locked in and I'm supporting AJ. Deuces.